Hey, welcome guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. This is me. This is Talk GB Season 2, as I call it. We've taken a bit of a break the last couple of weeks, trying to figure out how to do this. Got some work going finally. Sitting here in my studio, as you can see. So we're going to make it look a bit different. But I've really looked forward to starting this up again. So this Wednesday afternoon, 2 o'clock is going to be my slot with the curfews in place and all that. Traveling around is making it a bit difficult, but hopefully this will catch on. Obviously, this will go onto our YouTube channel. It'll stay on our Facebook page. So if you want to watch it later, you're more than welcome. If you're watching it later and I just said that, then you can watch it again later and again. But yeah, so I thought to kick it off for this second season, I'm going to talk about a bit more practical. I've got a few guests that want to come on. I think next week's guest is going to be Paul Smith. Those of you remember him, he won one of our prizes last season. And he's going to come talk about live broadcast. He's audio guarantee and broadcast. He's worked at the World Cup all over the place, comm specialist or audio guarantee. So it'll be a nice change up a little bit on our side. We've been more live and recording driven. And then some of the really good feedback we've had from some of the previous episodes on some of the discussions and the guests we've had. We're going to bring those back and take it to the next step. We won't repeat stuff. But definitely try and keep it a bit more practical, maybe a bit shorter. Some of them do get to the end a bit long. So today, I'm sitting here next to my Avid S6L. I've actually set it in my office, seeing that I can't be doing gigs with it at the moment. So I'm running some exercise, running our music through room 3 here, actually, so I can record and do some mixes. Using it for some lectures and things like that. And you might have seen it in one or two of our previous episodes. So one of the things that's happening a lot now, obviously in our new season, a new era, is live recordings. A lot of the companies have set up phenomenal virtual stages, where you can go in and sit down and film, record, do the whole thing with great lighting, great LED, great staging, all that kind of stuff. And a lot of the guys have moved over from doing live audio to broadcast audio or streaming audio. And I think some of them have been doing a very good job. I mean, it's a steep learning curve if you come from a live event. The biggest challenge that I've noticed, that I've given some feedback to guys that have asked me, is if you've been a live sound guy for a while, and you sit down behind a couple of monitors, no matter how good those monitors are, they're never going to be as loud as your big PA. And you tend to want to get into the sound. You want to feel it. You know, when you're doing you might be tracking a multi-track recording for the client, but you're also doing a live stream. So you want to get into the mix. And the first mistake everybody makes is just go too loud. Most little studio monitors, no matter what their quality, they're designed to operate efficiently between a certain dB/SPL level. Once you get even close to 90 dB/SPL, it starts compressing, it starts compromising the timbre, the tone of the sound, the dynamic of the sound, things like that, and it starts reacting to how you're mixing. Even if you're not compressing your output too much or doing too much mastering, you start reacting to how the monitors are overdriving. So big tip for the day there is watch your monitoring level. Get used to mixing at a low level. 83, 85 dB/SPL is already loud in a controlled environment, so make sure you're in a good listening environment. Nicely treated, not too quiet, not too big. Test your listening environment. You know, don't wait for the band to get on stage. Listen to music. Same thing you would do with normal PA. You would put the PA on, you'd listen to it, you EQ it, you'd go through it, you process the DSP, all that. If you've got monitors, sit down, listen to music. Don't just get into a multi-track. Listen to produced music. You know, I always say that if you're going to set up your studio monitors, one of the first things I tell especially young guys to do is don't listen to your mixes. Listen to money-making mixes, guys that have done it out there successfully. So, and listen to a variety of genres as well and how things respond, how things react, because you don't know what clientele is going to walk in. You might be doing jazz today, rock and roll tomorrow, some R&B or some rap stuff the next day. So you got to be used to mixing different things, and even with those things you want to get into it, but the more you discipline yourself to bring the volume down, you save your ears. Number one, this is your most important asset. You save your ears, you can work longer hours, and you get more consistent results. And turning the volume down, don't go too soft, don't go too loud. try and get to that, like I said, that 83, 85 dB SPL, closer to 80, and maintain a constant level. Focus on what you're doing. If you've got an SPL meter, measure it, and pretty soon you're going to get used to it as well. And then also, if you're mixing for streaming, know what your delivery standards are. If you're streaming to neg 14 loudness, you'll get to know what that sounds like. Neg 14 loudness, you must be careful with your monitoring level, because you tend to, if your monitoring level's set wrong, when you look at your masters, you look at your loudness meters, and you notice that they're either too high or too low, changing your master volume or changing your mastering plugin will then change your listening level. So you've got to be very careful. So when you listen to music and set up your monitoring, run it through loudness, get your loudness ready, make sure that you're listening, you understand how the loudness relates. If you don't understand loudness, we'll talk about that a bit more at a later stage. But it's very important you understand what those delivery specs are, so that you can get continuity going. Number two, the multi-track. Multi-track recording is I always say anybody with a laptop can hit record, which is true. But can you guarantee your results? Do you know what you're doing? Setting gain structures, we've spoken about this. Checking the multi-track going, looking at the gain structures, understanding. If you're a recording engineer, you know a lot of this stuff already. And then when you go into a live environment, there's a couple of things that change because of the human element, the dynamics, everything that changed in the environment. And then you often find that you react to certain things, you change things. And when you get into the post-mixing, you get inaccurate sort of gain structures and noise levels between your drum mics, your tom mics, or your overheads or anything like that. So be very consistent in how you set your gain structures. Never forget the source. Never, ever, 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 ever forget the source. I don't care how much time pressure you're on. If you do it right from the start, you can adapt to something very quickly. Like I said in my previous videos, respond, don't react. If you find yourself reacting, point the finger back at yourself. Put a mirror there next to your monitors. Look in the mirror. You're the problem. Prepare yourself, so that you can respond to scenarios. If a drummer moves a tom or moves something, you can quickly respond because you understand why you're doing it. You can't react. Reaction is grabbing a gain pot because a mic has moved from the guitar amp or something like that, or kick drum mic has moved, or something's happened, or your kick drum suddenly sounds different. Reaction is the gain pot, and then that just messes up the multi-track recording for your client big time. And obviously, if they're paying for a session and they're getting told that they're getting a multi-track recording, they're paying for it, so the product belongs to them. So make sure you do a good job, because then you get return business. Some companies are struck with the fact where they can't do multi-track recording, so they can do some busing recording because of the quality of the gear, or not the quality, the type of gear they're running. So they're doing maybe some stereo buses. There, it's very important that if you are doing a live mix, a streaming mix, and recording your buses, try and record your buses clean with as little dynamic control on them as possible. Reason for that being, again, even if you're giving someone bus mixes, if they're nice blends with minimal dynamic manipulation, someone can take those and remanipulate them and use them for something else. But if you're squashing them down, there's only so much we can do with a cut loaf of bread. You're never going to get it back to full size again. Although you can cut a smaller bread loaf out of it, but it's you're going to try and fake it to some people. So me and my anecdotes. So just be careful what you record. And big thing with recording, make sure you listen to the recording. I've seen I don't know how many guys over the years, they set up, and unfortunately mostly live guys, because you set up and you get it going and it's running, cool, and your focus goes to the band, it goes to the gear, it goes to the main mix, and every now and again you look over and your timeline's running, I'm recording, I'm good. You press stop, you press save, you listen back, clocking issues or distortion issues, or incorrect patching, or soft patching, things aren't labeled right. So you must always bring back, either on your recording system, just have another preamp there with headphones on it. You can put on your head sometimes and just click through and have a listen. Or ideally, have someone monitoring that permanently, because there's no going back. If it's clocking issues, sporadic little clicks here and there, we can fix it with RX-7 and isotope or something like that. But if it's a drifting clock, there's no fixing it. It's disaster. And everything looks fine while it's running. You only know when you press stop. So focus on paying attention, monitoring what you're doing. Again, clients paying for it. If it's a disaster, what did they pay for? You to make a mistake. And you go, oops, I'm going to learn from that, but they don't have a product. And then someone's going to have to pay to redo that. There's going to be clocking issues, there's distortion issues, there's patching issues. And even things like, a lot of guys, when you're running like a 64 channel session and you're not used to running a DAW properly, your digital audio workstation, how to arm tracks, how to run record, how to set your buffer settings, and all these kind of things. Practice. Make sure you understand how it works. And then your drive space and all that kind of stuff, guarantee all that kind of stuff. Understand how space works on a hard drive. Mono tracks, stereo tracks, 41K, 48K, 96K. What is the file sizes, differences? Because the last thing you want to do is run out of recording space. Again, you might press stop and save, but then the whole production has to wait for you to try and make a plan. So again, be ready, be responsive, which means you're planning. We are live. If you've got some questions, I'm watching my WhatsApp. I'll see if Johan's going to ask me anything or send me any questions. I haven't seen anything yet. But you're welcome to just pop us a message in the comments, and I'll try to come back to you if you've got any ideas on subjects or things that you want me to cover. Pop us a message, and I'll try and get back to you either in a chat like this or just with a DM. But it's always good to hear back from you guys. I'm really enjoying these shows. I hope you guys are enjoying doing them as well. There's a lot we can get out of them. I think some of the content can get really deep, which is great, especially when I have a guest on. I really love those episodes. But for now, just remember, monitoring level, vital. Don't listen too loud. Control yourself. Practice listening. Save your ears and prepare. Practice. Prepare your channel list, your miking techniques. Focus on the source. When you're setting gain structures, even if you're optimizing them for recording, listen to them. Don't set on eyes, because the people at home buying a product is not looking at the sound. They're listening to the sound. The guy mixing the post or remixing the song is listening. If your gain structure is right or wrong, he'll hear it. He doesn't have to see it. And other people go, it's rather too safe than sorry, so go too low or too loud or whatever. Focus, get it right, and be prepared. I think that's my 2 cents for today. I don't think we've got anybody coming up with any comments at the moment. I'm quickly going to check where we're at. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, like I said, and then I'm hoping you guys will join me. And there's, like I said, Wednesdays, 2:00, new time slot. It's a bit of the middle of the day. A lot of guys are busy, but unfortunately, with the curfews and all that kind of stuff, to run an 8:00 show and get home, and then we run late and all that kind of stuff. And it's been cold. So let me see if I can see anybody. Run my volume down there. Back to school. Yeah, there we go. I've enjoyed it. I'm not going to keep you too long today. Catch me next week, Wednesday again. I might be in a different location next week, but I'll keep doing it. And then we'll give you information. We've got another prize to give away this season, the MV88. We never gave that away yet last season. We got the stock from Waldemar. Thank you for that. It's been delivered. Darren and Gary and Anton from Waldemar. Thank you. And then I'll catch you guys next week. Oh, there's a question. So the question is, what should the monitor level be at? Well, your monitoring level in terms of SPL, if your studio is set up right, I mean, there's quite a few places you can go check out to do that. Your monitoring level needs to be on a decibel level, somewhere between, on an average of about 82, 83 dB SPL. That's for a live mix. Remember, in studio, predictive source. In a live environment, it's non-predictive source, so it can get a bit up and down dynamics of the band, especially when you're doing sound checks. Everything sounds great, your mix sounds amazing, and then when you goes, okay guys, we're live, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, adrenaline kicks in, everybody plays louder. That's what I said, responsive. Then that's when people react and get things wrong. So practice and anticipate, leave yourself headroom. and make sure you're ready for those. Hey, Job's watching. Thank you, guys. Bulling, Kyle, some of the regulars, Double. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys again next week, Wednesday, 2 o'clock. I'll put some ads up, make sure people get an idea of what the new time slots are. Thank you.